What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Big Thing. It is Thursday. Man, James Gunn is talking up a storm when it comes to Superman, the new movie Legacy. He talks about casting his brother. He talks about why he didn't cast Michael Rosenbaum as Lex Luthor. He talks about why cameos are cameo porn and what his opinions are in superhero films and if they're good or they're bad. We'll discuss that. But the thing I really wanted to talk about today was why are certain movies struggling in the movie theaters? I have my theories. Roxy has hers. Roxy has hers. So we're going to really dive into that, what that all means, the Oscars in general, how they might have to change things up if they want people to watch it, that and more. And Brett saw a brand new movie on Apple that we're going to discuss that he loved. So if you're brand new to the channel, right there, hit that button. You see it swirling around? That's the subscribe button. And I realized that I did that on yesterday's show. And I said, look at that. And nothing appeared because I didn't edit it. And why? Because my computer is a fuck off. So, yeah, my computer has really been an asshole. So yesterday you saw the show was about really, really glitchy. Can't guarantee it's not going to happen with this show. I have an Amazon wish list, gift list on there. You want to help out? Great. If not, I understand. But I need a new computer, and I'm trying. It's not in the thing. The computer's going to be on me. I got to figure out. There's other shit I got to get. Anyway, it's one of those days, guys. So it's me and Roxy and Brett on the show here today. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. It's The Big Thing. Let's do it. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to The Big Thing. It's Thursday. It's me, Roxy Striar, Brett Sheridan.
Click on the click right here.
It's all of us. Thanks for joining us.
Ooh, that's a
on the
good
show.
shot. Look at that. Boom.
You like that? Did you not like that or no?
Oh, I don't know. It's a lot of headroom, but I don't know.
What do you guys think about something? Let me
I don't
ask
give
you.
a care.
Let me ask you this.
All right.
So
Better, Brett?
before
Yeah, perfect.
before the show started, Kristian and Brett were working hard.
Great. I can really see your face. Oh, no.
Look at that.
What?
Couldn't see your face before.
Because I was like this.
Look
watch.
at that copper tone tan.
It's called bronzer.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Before the show, you guys were working hard doing stuff. And what do you guys like best? So obviously I couldn't be helpful because it's tech stuff and I can't be helpful. And so I was being goofball city. And Kristian seemed like he actually wanted to throw me out the window, but you didn't throw me out the window, and you just weren't respond. You were like, "I'm just not gonna. I'm gonna ignore her."
I didn't. Yeah.
Like
well,
she's a petulant child and doesn't exist.
Oh.
What do you guys like in those moments where there's like high tension tech issue? Oh, are we gonna get the stream started? Like, is the best thing for me to just shut the fuck up?
It wasn't that I was purposely ignoring you. I've just learned to in situations like that. Does that make sense? You know that your set's up on Patreon now.
So I hear. I heard that I'm a star.
You are. You're pretty good. And Ellis and I talked about it yesterday. We're like, so we have a show that we're probably going to put on. We want to go to either El Portal Comedy Store or somewhere to do like a show between the, have the two of us do like a big show and have people on and everything too.
I'm so sorry. What is that?
What's a comedy show?
What's El Portal?
El Portal is the first theater we ever did a Schmodown at.
Oh, in L.A.
Yeah. And so
I was there.
I'm assuming you
That's
were
what
there
the
for
L
one of
in
them.
El
I remember the
Portal.
Globe.
We did the Globe, but I'm sure. I mean, we
El
did.
Portal.
Were you at the one when the Five Horsemen were
Yeah.
revealed?
Mhm.
Yeah, it was at that theater.
I have pictures of that on my phone.
Yeah, so we have that. But I want to do a show, and we were definitely going to ask you to host it. You're not
If
going to do
Steph
it.
does it with me,
You wouldn't do it by yourself,
I need Steph.
but you wouldn't do it by yourself.
I don't like it.
What if I told you that I would rather have you do it by yourself? How would you feel about
why
that?
would you rather that?
Because I think you're good.
No,
Yeah.
Steph's funny.
Steph
so
is funny, but what
I'll
if I
be
was going
like-
to have Steph do a set?
I'll be like, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Insert joke from Steph. Okay, it's so great. We have some awesome comics for you tonight. Insert joke from
So you
Steph.
can't do that anymore because
No.
like if you had done that and said that a week and a half ago, I'd be like, okay, maybe that's what she's gonna do. But now I know that you're capable of more.
Kappa-bow.
Yeah, so sorry.
This is why you should never prove yourself.
Well, you did.
That's the lesson.
That's
Yep.
true. Brad,
Don't
how do you feel
the
about all this?
minimum.
I was just trying to keep all the dirty thoughts out of my head when Roxy said, "What do you like me to do when things are heated up, the tensions are high?"
Yeah.
You know what I hate? When women flash their boobs. That's what I hate. When the tensions are swelling, I can't stand it when a gal shows her titties.
What a gal.
Yeah, she's a lady.
She's a lady
you wanna know
showing
what?
the titties.
Brett, this is how I know, though, honestly, that you get laid a lot. Because do you know that when you stop having sex, you have no more? Like, at first, I had a lot of dirty thoughts. I have not had a dirty thought in a year.
Ooh.
Like, none.
Really?
Yeah, none. It's like,
It's just,
I'm
I
an
guess because-
asexual person now.
But here's the reason why. You've gone to the store so many times, and like every time you try to get a piece of food that you like, it's rotten.
It's rotten. So
and
it's just
so
like, I
it's
don't like
I don't
food
like that
anymore.
food anymore. I understand that. And so still, I was like, you know,
Oh my God, I posted this to my close friends, which you guys are both on Instagram, but you never look at my stories, so you probably didn't see it.
I always do. I'm a creeper. I'm a silent creeper.
Brett just looks at trash.
I have dating. I have like
I've
shit.
seen it because I look at trash.
I have absolute trash dating updates for you guys if you
Please.
want that later in the show.
Yeah, and then
or
I want to.
now,
What
or
about
whatever.
just do it now? We'll talk about how Brett. What do we call it when you? What are you looking at?
Filth.
So Brett's Instagram is purely for filth.
Is it?
Yeah.
I just.
What do you mean? No.
I have a few filths on there, but they're exercise videos.
Influencer exercise.
Yeah. It's to help me learn how to get a nice round booty. I look at stuff, but I'm not a good friend, I guess. I'm supposed to put a heart every time I see your.
No, but I can scroll up and see who's seen it and who hasn't, and oftentimes you have.
I always.
I just don't
Now
look
you
at
think
anybody's
that.
stories.
Yeah, well,
hardly ever.
I'm not anybody.
I like hardly anybody's. I don't even post stories.
You don't?
Hardly
I just
ever.
tagged both of you guys in a story. You both haven't even seen it yet.
Yeah.
I think. Well, what was it?
It was
I
just
promise
now.
I-
No, it was
oh,
ju-
just now.
Just now.
Oh.
13
Yeah.
seconds ago.
Tell me what's going on with the dating story.
Okay, so here I'll give you two of them on Trash City. Two people I haven't met up with and will not. Okay, one of them I'm actually just gonna read you guys
The profile?
no verbatim what actually happened. Okay, I'll tell you about this first guy. This first guy
Tell us.
I was talking to for a month, literally every day.
A month.
For a month. Okay, I went home to Boston, so I wasn't here. We were talking on the text message every day, twice a day, 7 a.m., 10 p.m. Every day, 7 a.m., 10 p.m. Just gonna tell you guys what happened.
All right.
Here's what happened. He asked me pretty quickly if we could get steaks because I have on my profile that I like
Steak.
And I said, let me get to know you a little bit before because I've now tried to work on this vetting process so
Right.
that I don't just say yes to all of the
Steaks.
immediate. Right. So he was like, okay. So we were talking for weeks every day and he was messaging me all like about him, asking me questions, asked what I do for a living, asked me siblings, family, like
Cares.
talking.
Seems
right.
like he cares.
And so I got all of that from him.
Sure.
So then he said to me, okay, he said, now are you more comfortable? Would you like to go get
Steaks.
dinner? Steaks. He did say steaks. And I said, I would love to. And he said, great. What is your Instagram handle so I can make sure I'm not talking to a person in their parents, like a guy in his basement
Catfish.
or whatever?
Oh, okay.
So I gave it to him.
But where'd you first hold?
Hinge.
Yeah.
You met so
Hinge, okay.
So wait,
Hinge.
yeah. So don't they see?
Yeah, but it could be
I don't
fake. It's
understand.
catfish all the time.
Okay,
it could be
happens all
fake,
the
so it's
time.
not like
So-
linked.
All right, so he's protecting
So
himself.
I
okay.
always do that to the
Sure,
guy.
sure,
If
sure.
he
Yeah.
hadn't asked me, I would have asked
Okay,
him.
so there was a fair request. You didn't have any problems with that.
So I said yes, and I gave it to him, and then he ghosted me
Oh.
Canada style.
after getting my Instagram.
So maybe he doesn't believe it still.
No, he clearly believes it. He just
Oh.
didn't like me.
But wait, but didn't
He
he?
saw my Instagram and didn't
but
like.
didn't he already see your picture though before? that?
Yeah, but maybe he thinks that those were better pictures than on my Instagram. I don't know.
Son of a bitch. You're not worth it.
Isn't that weird
Yeah. Well, look. What are you gonna
to
do?
talk to somebody every day?
Maybe he doesn't want to date a profile person.
Yeah.
But he asked me what I did. I said that I am a host and an actress.
Yeah, but everybody is here. Maybe once you look and you see, oh, she actually has people who are following her, and I don't know.
Wouldn't that be better than she's a host and actress and has no followers?
Maybe not. Depends on who you are. Maybe you don't want to deal with that shit.
But then just say that.
Fair.
So then I messaged.
Who's the other guy?
So I messaged him afterwards.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So he didn't respond afterwards. So I waited a week, and then I said, which I never double tap, but I just said like, asks girl for steaks twice. She finally says yes. Did my Instagram scare you off that much? No response.
That's weird.
Maybe he's an anti-Semite.
That's what my siblings think.
No, let me tell you why I like
They
it.
don't think that he's necessarily an anti-Semite, but that.
Let me tell you something. As she was talking, I was like, well, Roxy's pretty vocal on social media. All of a sudden, in my head, I'm going, maybe it's something that she wrote that he's on the opposite side of and everything, too. But you just say it.
Yeah.
And
Just say it. Just say it. Just say I don't like your takes on Jews, whatever.
Yeah.
And it might, and
As far as Jews
maybe
are
not,
concerned, I don't like a take.
Yeah, maybe I don't like your take.
Yeah.
But I think that with that, maybe if you're you're not even early into anything, you just go and you walk away.
Yeah.
Not a mature way to do it.
Yeah, no,
but
I
still,
agree. But just
probably
like
what he did.
you messaged me every day.
Yeah.
And on my profile, it says I'm Jewish on my actual profile.
Do you have any idea what his?
No idea. No idea.
Tricky time right now.
He looks very ambiguous.
Okay, tricky time right now. So you
Totally.
don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
So then this, let me just give you guys this guy's opening line. So he sends me.
Please tell me it was Louis Gossett Jr.
Yeah.
No, actually, this guy's name was Ben, and so I feel bad because I posted this on my close stories, and everybody thought that it was Ben, and I was like, oh my god, that's actually horrible. No, Ben would never do something like this. So I posted a picture of me, one of my pictures you can respond to, and he responded with a pregnant emoji.
Oh, what does that mean?
Oh,
Not sure,
I did see this on
you did?
your stories.
I saw it too.
He wrote, "Blonde, fit, and eats meat. Ha ha. What's the catch?"
Yeah, and you said, "Oh no, this wasn't the one. Send me a picture so I can ask Santa what
No, not
show
that
Santa
one.
what I want." See, I look at your stuff.
Okay, but that was a different story. So I said, "You tell me, why did you send me a pregnant emoji?" And he said, "I just had a vision. The Lord speaks through me." Mm-hmm. Disgusting.
He wants to put a baby up in it. I mean, that's pretty straight. You tired of people pussyfooting around? He just said, he came right out and said it.
Disgusting. Do not send a woman a pregnant emoji, especially because it was like a crop top shirt. I thought he was saying I looked pregnant.
Yeah,
in
that was. Yeah, fuck that dude is what Jabba said. That's.
I went on a date
I
with
think
somebody
dudes are
recently,
trying
too.
to be funny, but like they don't. Their delivery is horrible.
You can't do that on text.
You can't do that in
For
text.
the
can't do
first
that.
thing. First thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
even
ridiculous.
but that's someone who's
I
not
would've-
funny.
Oh, I would have died in this world. Oh,
Yeah, but you wouldn't have done that.
I would
not
have
meeting
said I
the
want to put a
person.
baby up.
Right, but you would have done it in a way because the
You are
delivery
funny.
side of it. Yeah, but you even knowing someone in conversation could get away with. You can get away with that in a text.
Yeah.
no matter who you are, because it's stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was.
One of these people are fucking idiots.
I went on a date with somebody recently. This is probably the most recent date I went on. So
I don't
maybe
blame you
2
for not
weeks
having
ago.
sexual thoughts after the
None.
stories.
I have literally
Oh,
none. I have
Jesus.
no. I can't believe that me all of a
But
sudden.
even
like,
watching stuff,
nothing.
no.
It is
Ryan
so
Gosling
weird.
comes on,
It's
shirt
like
off.
this is the second time
balls
in my life. No, I
You don't want to go
just-
grind one out.
I
to
can't
Ryan
believe it.
Gosling?
I really don't. I cannot believe it. I just can't wait to meet somebody who I actually start to think of as like a person that I could have sex with again.
Right.
It's
You
just
know,
I don't blame
you
you.
gotta move.
it's disgusting. But so the most recent guy I went on a date with, this is
It's disgusting.
It is. Dudes are.
Like filth animals.
Oh man.
Yeah, this fucking guy looking at Instagram.
I actually made.
Is
Bonnie,
that really what your Instagram's curated
No,
to?
I have.
Mine is like cooking recipes and shit.
I've. No.
Let me see. Give me your phone. Let me see your Explore page.
Oh, I love to see that.
Oh no, you can't see my Explore page.
Give me your phone.
Is that the one where you go to search things?
Give me your phone.
I dare you. I fucking
have mine.
dare you. Please.
Mine's makeup tutorials and cookies.
But see, Oh no, I got
Give me your
important
phone.
work stuff on here.
Give me
Hold
your-
on a second.
You can't delete
He's
your-
deleting his history.
No, I can't see what you search. I won't be able to see what you search.
What's the explore page? Is it this one? Is it the search?
I'm not gonna say it out loud. I'm
Look
just
at
gonna look.
him. It looks like his
Okay,
mom
hold on,
grabbed his
which one is
phone.
it?
Oh
Yeah,
No,
this
it's
is
a
it.
bunch of.
Filled animals?
No, we're okay so far. I mean, the first picture is a picture of Chad Michael Murray. So
Oh.
Okay.
is that what you don't want out of?
No, I don't
Okay,
understand.
there's
There's some
guitars, meat, some pants, some very cute ladies, Grateful Dead stuff.
Yeah.
Brett, this is not that bad. I've seen bad. This is not
Oh,
that
okay.
bad.
Yeah, that's just last night.
No, you're
okay.
okay. There's a lot of food, a lot of hot girls, but
Yeah.
mostly celebrity hot girls, and
Yeah.
that's because that's what you do.
Yeah.
for a
Yeah,
living.
of course.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
No, let me tell you something, Brett. Honestly,
Not too bad.
if you were my
You
husband,
wouldn't be
I would
mad.
be okay with that explorer.
Well, I
page.
was gonna say
Him and his wife
I thought
are
there was
very honest and
a cast iron, but no, it's just a regular nonstick.
I
Yeah.
did get into it with one guy over his explore page one time.
Why?
Because no, it was actually the girls he was following. This
Oh.
guy, we were talking, and he said something about, he was like, you know what's so weird to me? Guys who only follow hot girls on Instagram.
Okay.
And I was like, I wasn't going to say anything to you, but like, you only follow hot girls on Instagram. And he followed maybe 200 people. I'm going to say 180 of them were like people he didn't know, influencer hot girls, which is fine because you're
Yeah.
not my boyfriend, but like, don't call out other people for being weird doing that. And then that's what
Maybe it's like one of those
do.
guys is just like, I don't like gay people, and he's blowing somebody in, in the stall.
Oh, this was the same dude that freaked out. I definitely told you guys the story off air. The mushroom guy
Which
at
one's
the
that?
museum
I don't remember anymore.
took the mushrooms at the museum, freaked out, had to leave.
Oh, kind of remember.
Oh, yes. I remember
yeah,
this.
okay.
Yeah. Right. I don't think we told them on the air. Did you ever hear back from Canada?
No,
Never.
never heard from him.
Dirt ass.
Yeah.
That was kind of surprising, actually.
He's probably started dating somebody
he
else.
popped up on my Hinge.
I don't know what this means.
So 2 weeks ago, on Hinge,
Yeah.
and they like the way it works.
Oh, so he's dating again.
He never was off it. I don't think.
Oh.
I don't think he ever stopped dating. Just stopped dating me.
listen.
You know, I never heard from him again. I swiped no, obviously.
Different. You should swipe yes just for the hell of it.
No, because I don't want to invite that into my life.
That's true.
Because he would take that as a she's interested again,
it's
and
true.
then he would slide
it's
in
true.
and like over my dead body,
Right.
you fuck.
Who's the neighbor banging these days? Probably Canada.
You know? Oh, I did record video for you guys this
Video?
week because
Goodness.
no audio.
Oh.
Wow, this was a weird noise
Stinking up
too.
the joint?
No,
Come on.
I don't know. I couldn't.
Send it to me.
I kept not being able to get it. So I'm gonna have to like search and find it. It was like every time she would do it, it wasn't. It was for 3 hours every 10 minutes. So I kept missing it.
It's like a crow caught in a cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of sounded
All
like
right, why
that.
don't you look for that? We'll get
That's
into
off-putting.
well, and before I even get into a story, we're going to get to James Gunn's story. Just to tell you guys right off the bat, Green Chef, which Roxy loves, and Trade Coffee, they're both back. I'll tell you about both of them right now. It is the holiday season, everybody, and what better way than to get the #1 meal kit for eating clean? That's Green Chef. Let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season with chef-crafted, nutritionist-approved recipes featuring fresh ingredients with nothing artificial. You can choose from recipes featuring lean proteins like turkey and sockeye salmon, that's the best, barramundi, tilapia, scallops, shrimp, certified organic whole fruits, vegetables, eggs, plenty of whole grain options. I love Green Chef. I use them all the time. You guys know I've been talking about Green Chef forever. And why? Because they're the best. You can eat clean the delicious way this December with flavor-packed recipes like buttery lemon garlic shrimp, harissa apricot chicken, maple butternut squash risotto, and sriracha tamari beef bowls. They have so many great things. I've told you guys my favorite things that I do now. I make like these quesadillas that I get from them all the time because I love their food. I love the stuff that they send, and they give you recipes. If you want to follow them, you can make your own stuff. It really is fantastic because with Green Chef, you're reducing your food waste by up to 23% versus grocery shopping. It's the best. It is the best. You do so much for not only yourself, but the environment in general, and you're eating clean. It's delish. You go to greenchef.com/60thing, and if you use the code 60thing, you're going to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. That's the best deal ever. greenchef.com/60thing. Use that code, man, 60thing, 60% off. How many times I got to say 60? It really is the holiday season. I'm so excited. Finally, Trade is back. I love Trade. I love Trade Coffee. I've been using Trade Coffee forever, and I'm so glad that they're back. Why? They are absolutely incredible, and Trade Coffee can help you nail your holiday gift giving this year. Trust me, a subscription to Trade, it is the perfect gift for any coffee lover. You just choose how much to spend, and Trade is going to help your recipient personalize the coffee to their preference. Best of all, Trade's gift subscriptions cut out the worry around shipping deadlines as the digital subscription is delivered instantly to their inbox. Well, what is it? Trade is a subscription service that sources the best coffee across the country and brings it to your doorstep. They've built relationships with 55 plus local rosters so you can enjoy their craft from the comfort of your own home. I've been using them since we had them last time, and I continue to. This is the one that I use. This is the Flores Bellas blend. I love it. It gets me going in the morning, baby. I love Trade Coffee. You can hear how excited I am. I've been waiting. I've been wanting. I have Trade back to tell you guys about them. They're so amazing. They have any type of flavor. You want something, you want the dark coffee, you want something with a little bit more flavor, they got it all. So give the gift of better coffee at home. From now through December 25th, Trade is offering 15% off all gift subscriptions at drinktrade.com/bigthing. Shop now through Christmas Day to save. That's drinktrade.com/bigthing. 15% off all gift subscriptions through Christmas Day. drinktrade.com/bigthing. It will be the best Christmas present you can give this year. All right, thank you to both Green Chef, Trade Coffee. So excited to have them both back. And if you guys are able to support the show and you have the means to, please consider one of our wonderful sponsors. Helps out the show tremendously. All right, what do we do first? I was going to get into the James Gunn stuff, and we can do that in a moment. But I wanted to talk to Brett. Brett had watched this. He texted me late last night about this movie he saw on Apple, Sigourney Weaver. I'm not sure, but Brett.
It's called The Everlasting Sadness of Trinity Jones.
Right. I heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a think piece.
Who plays Trinity Jones?
That's Sigourney Weaver.
That's Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, Sigourney Weaver is ex-prostitute who turns into like an environmentalist, and basically, save the trees, save everything. But there's a lot of controversy because
her husband's a cat burglar.
Yeah, cat burglar at night. And she's got to keep that, and then things come out about her. It's based loosely on a true story, but
right.
It was really
the thing that happened in Kansas.
Yeah, it was. It was in Kansas. They changed the names to protect the innocent, of course,
right.
and then then the end of the movie is really everybody dies and it's a gangbang.
Right.
That one was too serious.
I was gonna say, tell me about the big scene at the end when the cheetah runs into the banquet and kills everybody.
Oh yeah.
I interviewed her once.
The cheetah?
Oh, she sounds wonderful.
She's
nice or no?
She didn't bring up the gangbang death.
She didn't do that?
But,
No, not anymore.
She was cool.
I just saw something.
Really cool.
I think they said it was a skit, but it was Jennifer Lawrence this guy was interviewing her. He has his shoes off. Did you see that?
No.
It was pretty funny, but she
What
walks
was the
out of
funny
this
part?
interview. She's like, "Why do you have your shoes off?" But it's kind of rude. Like, I have to wear heels all day for these interviews. And he's like, "What, are you jealous or something?" She goes, "This is stupid," and walks off. But I heard it was made up. I didn't know if it was real or not. I thought you had your finger on the pulse.
Yeah, she's more aware of stuff. I can't believe she was nominated for a Golden Globe for that No Hard Feelings.
I haven't seen it. I heard it was cute.
It's better than it should have been.
Yeah.
And but it definitely shouldn't have been a theatrical movie. That's a streaming movie.
It was a streaming movie, right?
It came out on theatrical first.
She's
but only for reward stuff, right? Like it's a Netflix movie.
It was a wide release.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but it did okay. But I don't even think it did okay. But it did much better. It crushed on Netflix.
Good.
And
because
Good, I'm
everybody
gonna
found
watch
out
it.
she was naked in it, right?
full nude fight on the beach.
Yeah, I heard Stern talking about it.
Really?
It's like
Bombs out.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both naked
Everything.
vagina?
Bombs, vagina.
The question was whether she had a
Fighting.
merkin.
And the other person was too?
No, she was by herself fighting. She was nude fighting 3 clothed people. Huh. Yeah. People have watched it on the internet.
Yeah, apparently.
Sure.
I forgot to search
It's
that
number
one.
one. I was going to say it's number one on Brett's Instagram.
Yeah, you didn't see
I
that?
really like her. I think she's a fucking
she's
G.
great.
I'm
She was good in
definitely going to watch it to support her because that must be what people were talking about, how she's like taking back her body and whatever.
Yeah, for sure. And what I'll tell you what I liked about the movies, the first because I watched it with my wife, and the first like 10 minutes, it's trying to be a movie it's one of these kind of goofy comedies that always go wrong. And I'm like, if she's trying, this is not her strong suit. This is what she's trying to do here. And then the shift kind of changes, and it becomes more heartfelt. The kid in the movie is awesome.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
I saw them do press together. They seemed like they had a good relationship.
Yeah. So it was I liked watching it on the streaming on Netflix for sure. And it's not a movie that you go and check out in the theater. But what was the last thing you saw in the theater? Did you see Godzilla yet?
No. No. The last thing I saw in the theater probably was with you.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what. I saw May December last night, not in the
Oh,
theater.
right. So let's talk about that. You brought that up. So you and I seem to be on the same page with May December. It's the Julianne Moore, Natalie Portman movie.
Yeah, but that guy from Riverdale who I really like.
Okay. So I said, good movie. Don't get the hype.
Yeah, I think it's good. I thought it was good. Like if there was no nominations for it, not hype, and I just stumbled upon it, I'm like, oh, that was a good movie.
Right.
But I went into it because right now I'm trying to watch all the Oscar contenders.
Me too.
And I was like, oh, okay, this is an Oscar contender. Let me watch it. And that was not a good way to go into the movie because then I was like, this is an Oscar
Everybody's
contender?
raving about this movie like it's the next thing. I saw people just couldn't stop talking about it on social media. I'm like, and I just watched it. I'm like, it's good. It's got a. The ending is just kind of like it's every Oscar movie now. It's like I still say the same thing. I brought this up a billion times to you. I know you love the Oscars, and we've talked about this already on the air. You and I. Who are the Oscars for?
Me.
Right. But when they're not
very
allowed,
niche.
but they are not allowed to complain about how ratings are bad. Like,
Yeah.
If you're putting it on network television, that the Oscar should be a streaming show.
Back in the day, it was the only time you got to see a lot of these people dressed up, and now with social media, you see them all the time. But like it was an event, and I was thinking back to we watched all the time, but I also wanted to be an actor, so that was I don't know if
Pause and rewind for a second.
Yeah.
Explain yourself with the Oscars should be a streaming show.
So meaning that the amount of money that you have to spend in advertising and everything else to put on network television, ABC, whatever it might be, right? The amount of ratings that you need to do in order to make it a profit or whatever it is. You don't need the same kind of numbers on a streaming platform.
Like what? Where do you think it should be?
Put it on your ABC platform. Put it on the streaming service there. Put it
But
on.
do you mean it should be on like Netflix, Paramount, Hulu?
Sure. Someone wants to pick it up.
Because ABC, Disney, so that's Hulu. So you think it should be on Hulu, not on
Put
ABC?
it on Hulu.
But why? Because isn't streaming more prestigious than network?
Not necessarily. No, not when it comes. I mean, not the old school way of thinking, and not because again, free. It's essentially free television. If you have Channel 7, you have ABC. If you have just back in the day, you still have to get. Now I don't know you can do that, but if you just have a regular television,
Yeah, I
and you
can't
put
do
a Channel
that,
7.
though.
I know, but it's like it's not. It's like everybody has Channel 7. So
To me, it makes it harder to watch something. Like I wait for all the ABC, Abbott Elementary. I have to wait till it's on Hulu.
Right. So most people do streaming. It's true, but I think streaming is just makes more sense, and it also, again, you're choosing to watch it where it's like ABC. It's like it's on Channel 7. It's like okay, I want to watch something else, but I gotta watch the Oscars for 4 hours. If you're like 60 years old and you're going through, you're like, I don't watch Channel 7. Oh, the Oscars. I don't know what any of these movies are. I wanted to check something. Let's go back. I want to go to 1989. Yeah. All right. 1990. I want to go to 1990. These are the movies: Dead Poets Society, Field of Dreams,
Crap.
Driving Miss Daisy,
Shit.
My Left Foot,
hated it.
Born on the 4th of July.
Oh, my dad's band is the title song on
Born on
that.
the 4th of
Yeah,
July.
yeah. Broken Homes.
Okay.
Shout out.
So-
Will you go to 98?
But wait, I will. But my point is,
Legendary.
but everybody knew about the movies. There was not one of those movies that came out, whether you saw them or not, that people that went, "What the hell is that?"
But of course, there were less movies then, Christian.
There were definitely less as far as all the streaming movies and everything goes to, no doubt. But there's still movies that they were still put to the public's attention, is what I mean. Like there's a lot of these movies that a lot of the mainstream audience has no freaking clue what these things are.
That's our landscape right now, though, right? Like, I mean, unless you're just going to nominate only franchise movies for Oscars, like every year it's only going to be Star Wars, Mission Impossible, DC, Bond,
I know, I
Marvel.
guess, but
like,
a bigger budget movie. I don't know, but like it's just I guess maybe just changing it up too, because my wife and I, as we were watching the some of this Oscar stuff. We just know exactly what it's going to be now, the kind of movies you're going to try to do. And it's going to be the same things with the artistic movies that are going to look really cool. And they're not going to have traditional endings. They're going to buck the system like Saltburn and May, December and all these movies. Just like, it's just the same shit.
I'm not with you. Well, first of all, I love the Oscars, but I'm not with you on the quality of some of the movies these days. But I do think it's a different landscape. We have to change with the times. What's cool is that there's more opportunities for people nowadays. Like this is what it means to be able to be a filmmaker and go out and make a movie on an iPhone, right? Because there is just more options for people. And a lot of those TV shows, movies, like that's how we got It's Always Sunny, right? They shot the pilot on their phones and we're like, yeah, let's make this show. So that's how we get a lot. What is it? Tangerine? I mean, there's some movies, like big, huge movies that are shot on phones. So the point being that anybody can do it now.
Yeah, it's not that. And let me correct it. It's not that movies shouldn't that have small budgets shouldn't be nominated. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I mean is that if you're going to put, there should be big marketing campaigns for smaller movies also, and there should be, if you're going to do these streaming movies in the same way that you put, like, look, May, December. Even though what I will say is that it is a movie again traditionally like the same predictability. You know, predictable. You know what it's going to be. It's going to be because the ending is you saw the movie and it's just kind of like, oh, it doesn't give. There's not this. I like more structured movies. I just do. I like more structured.
It's
and I think
that moment when it hits the credits and you're like, that's it.
Yeah, but the thing, right? But the difference is, it's a very highly publicized film. It's got big stars and it's Netflix, so they're able to push it. So more people will know about that. But I don't think it's for general audiences. I just don't. I think it's more for the film fans. I think anybody that's going to be saying, "Oh, Kristian, what are you talking about?" It's the film fans. It's like
for sure. I mean, it was shot like every shot was meticulously made in a way that was beautiful.
Like Poor Things. Did you see Poor Things?
No, I haven't seen it.
Same thing. It's like, so did you like Lobster?
That's Emma Stone. I love Lobster. It's one of my favorites.
So I don't like that movie.
I like Yorgos a lot.
Okay.
And Favorite.
The Favorite's I think the only movie that he's done that I like.
I love Lobster.
I find his stuff very well made, gorgeous as far as shots, but I find it very pretentious. And it's like, and so
I don't find his stuff pretentious. I find it quirky.
Well, you're wrong.
It's definitely quirky. It's definitely quirky. It's definitely quirky. There's no doubt about it.
I like Lobster, but The Favorite, it was okay with me.
Yes, yeah, I like The Favorite.
Like I find Phantom Thread PTA pretentious.
Okay, fair enough. But either
I'm
way,
with you though. It's a fair critique.
Sure. And so like you asked,
But I agree with Roxy because like
yeah,
Coco and the Breeze was shot on a razor phone. So.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
On a razor, wow, that's even more impressive.
What I loved about that movie, by the way, was the fact that this is a full-on live-action film, and all of the posters were animated. Did you notice that?
Yeah,
they're all animated.
What happened to the monkey?
The monkey.
They got arrested.
Yeah, got arrested. It was, the typical story: young monkey gets hooked up with the wrong crowd and starts doing drugs.
Yeah, there were drugs involved. I heard.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah, but he was firing like cocaine balls at like prostitutes.
Fentanyl, the whole nine.
Stupid bastard. All right, so here's the 1998 Oscar nominations that Roxy.
What was 98, Rox?
98. Shakespeare in Love. Okay. Elizabeth. Whatever that is. I know Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Life is Beautiful, Saving Private Ryan, The Thin Red Line, Gods and Monsters, Affliction, American History X.
Maybe I mean 97.
Oh. Okay. Well, let's see.
The year that Titanic beat out Good Will Hunting, which I thought came out in 97, so I figured would have been nominated in 98. Yeah.
So Titanic, 97, As Good as It Gets, Wag the Dog. Wag the Dog was nominated?
That's crazy.
Wow. Yuli's Gold, Good Will Hunting, The Apostle, Amistad, Boogie Nights.
Okay, so it starts to change. The reason that I wanted to hear this list is because Good Will Hunting is my favorite movie of all time. And I feel like, Kristian, if that movie came out today, we would have you saying that's a streaming movie.
Well, today, but it's not because remember, streaming movies, when I say that, it has nothing to do with quality.
I know, but if it's a streaming movie...
Air was a streaming movie, and it came out in the theater.
But if it's a streaming movie, then it sounds like you think that it shouldn't be an Oscar movie because those are the big budget contender marketing ones.
No. Like, so here's a perfect example is using those guys is Air, right? Air's one of my favorite movies.
But why do you think Air's a streaming movie?
Because what I'm talking about with streaming movies is more so of audience of what they can get on streaming, right? So like you have so much content through Apple and Amazon and Netflix and all these different movies that you're paying for. The theater experience now is very different than like 10, 15 years ago when you, for like Good Will Hunting, when you saw a movie like that. It's really the only way you can see that movie if you wanted to see it right away, like a movie like that.
But you think any of those movies that are not action movies, the movies that are heart and soul, that doesn't have to do with scenery or like big action scenes, should be streaming?
No, I'm saying that there are a lot of movies that I'm thinking. So when I say streaming movies, it's not movies that I don't want to see in the theater. I'm telling you that the mass audience is not responding to.
Right, but what is how are you distinguishing? I'm missing.
So
it.
give me. So what movies do you like? A movie like Air.
Yeah,
okay?
why?
Because a movie like Air, when people. So remember, when you go, you know, huge cast, movie stars, all that. That's not why people are going to the movies anymore. They're just not that you can the number, and it's not me saying it. This is science at this point. When you look at the numbers, track the numbers of what people are going to see. That movie didn't do very well in the theater. Those movies like that, the romantic comedies aren't doing well in the theater anymore. Like the Meg Ryan thing, granted, a star that was probably past her prime, but still, those movies don't do it very well. There's these movies that just don't do well in the theater because they're making all of these types of movies for streaming services.
But why then is Barbie it should be a theater movie? I'm assuming you think it should be a theater
100%.
movie.
Well, Barbie's different, right? Barbie's got this big, massive IP behind it, right? In Barbie. It's a big, massive IP, big studio movie. It's got the big budget
Air has
behind
pretty
it.
big IP behind it.
What, Air Jordans? I mean, yeah, but it's not. But I mean, it's a popular brand, but it's not. It's not the same thing to where it's like you turn. Look, Barbie could have been one of those movies that just didn't do very well. It's just an iconic movie about the actual Barbie herself, right? And it's also a very big budget, as opposed to a movie that was probably 60 million or whatever Air might have been. Smaller movie, or it could have been more. I have no idea how much that movie cost, but with the actors' salaries, I'd say anywhere between 60 and 80. And it was in like an Amazon movie. So, and it was essentially, that movie was kind of made for streaming anyway. It really was. Like they didn't necessarily need it to do well in the theaters. It was made for streaming.
90 million.
90 million. Okay.
Okay, let me ask you this then.
Yeah.
I'm just going to list some off because I am not understanding your distinction. So here, I'll guess what you're going to say. Elemental and all the animated movies, I'm guessing you think in theater.
Theater movies.
Because kids.
I mean, although there are some movies that are made that, are kind of generic and could have just been made for streaming, but with that kind of budget, you got to take a crack at it and try to get your money back.
All of the action movies, so like Mission Impossible, Creed, John Wick. I'm thinking you think theater.
Again, big action movies with big stars, and Creed is coming off of a popular franchise in general. Yeah, of course.
Anything superhero, so Spider-Verse, Guardians, any superhero movie, you think?
Yeah.
Theater.
Yeah, because it's because of what is the past numbers shown for box office returns? Why are people going to the movies, right? Like, so the example I always give is a family, right? So a family of 4, they pick what movies are they going to pick to go see in the theater when they also subscribe every month to Amazon, Apple, Netflix. Let's say you're spending anywhere between $80 to $120 a month on streaming alone.
Right.
You're probably going to spend, with treats and everything else and tickets, depending on where you are in the country, with your family, you're probably going to spend close to $50 to $60 to $70 for that trip alone. So when you go to the movies now, you've got to make sure that whatever movie you're going to see, is it a movie that I could just see at home that we're paying anyway? Like Apple's got this brand new movie that they just made. Why don't we just stay home, order a pizza, watch the movie on Apple instead because they have a movie just like that? Or should we go and spend the money because you can't see something like that on the big screen? You can't see something like that on
So it has to
streaming.
be a spectacle for you.
It's not for me.
No, for you to think it should be streaming.
Yes.
I mean, for you to think it should be theater.
I think that for now, there are certain times, so here's a movie.
I've got an example. Concerts. I saw Steely Dan in concert, and it was like listening to the album. It was like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
I could have listened to the album at home. I go to Grateful Dead. It's an experience, and that's a concert that's worth going to. I don't think it's necessarily Christian saying this personally, but like
it's the money. It's the money.
I
people are
totally
getting
hear what
there,
you're
the
saying.
event is-
Just things like Air, to me, is where you and I disagree because I don't know.
But why did no one see it? Why did no one see it? The movie was fantastic. It's one of the best movies of the year. Why did people not see that movie? What do you think? Why do you think the reason?
Did
why
it really do as poorly as you're saying?
Look at the. I'll bring up the numbers right now.
It made like $50. Now look at
Wait,
what
hold on.
Air Bud made.
Air made $90 million. So, and that's with the marketing, probably lost close to $90 million. But that's a different kind of movie because I think that they were prepared for that in general because of everything that I'm talking about here with the streaming. And they know that people aren't going to see movies like that in the theater right now. So they knew that they had a big deal for streaming. It was going to be kind of an exclusive thing for Amazon when it came out as well. So there was a little bit of a deal. They knew they were going to take a hit. Same thing. Look, another movie that people aren't talking about had bombed bad is Killers of the Flower Moon. That's a streaming movie.
But if Air had done the same budget for the movie and went streaming, you think it would have made more money?
If it, say again, if it had the
If
same.
Air had, so the budget was what, 80 million?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're saying the budget was what?
If the budget was 80 million still, and then it went streaming, you think it would have
did
made
go
more
streaming.
money? I'm saying instead of going theatrical.
Oh no! Because I mean, that's where the crazy thing comes. Like you have
That's
these
where
movies.
I'm confused with.
Well, because you have these, it's just a matter of that's the overall problem with streaming in general. Is because how do you prove your money? How do you prove that you made, money through subscribers and all that stuff?
But you're saying based on script, you would be able to tell where the movie's going, because if it's once you're in production and then you're trying to see like, oh, where
I'm
does
just
this
saying.
fit?
I'm just saying you're going to have a hard time with certain movies with audiences coming out to see it. And again,
What
there's
about Are You There, God?
look
It's
at
Me,
look at
Margaret.
the. So that's another one where there's some movies that you're gonna get because of audience, right? Like look at a movie like what was it, Lost Paradise? What was the Paradise Lost? What was the one with Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum? That movie came out at the right time. There's some romantic.
Did it do well?
It did well. It did really well, and so did
Really?
that Julia Roberts Clooney movie, right? Also, because again, depending on what your budget is, like if you tell me that you're putting a movie out like the Sandra Bullock one, and it's $150 million, I think you're a lunatic, or $200 million, you're a lunatic. There's no way that movie makes its money. But if you're making it for scale down, it's got a chance to hit because it's counter-programming to superhero movies and these other things too, and it's a good date night movie. There are times that it depends on what it is and who's your stars, who's directing, but there are certain movies that just don't play in the theater the way it did 10 years ago. It just doesn't happen anymore. You look, some of the movies that you think probably are not streaming movies, probably ate shit. Like, what are some of the movies that you think are like?
Are You There, God?
Big day
So
night
that's,
movie.
but see that one though, I can understand again how much
Because you're talking about your Family of Four thing. Family of Four would go see
but there's
that.
right, but there's also a difference there. The budget is lower, right? The budget's lower for that film. Plus,
Is it?
that movie cannot cost any more than $40 to $50 million. 60 maybe, and if it did, then if it costs more than $60 million, it's a crime. It probably costs like anywhere between 20 to 50.
Yeah, low 30.
Right. So yes, you
30.
take a shot with that movie and you put it in the theater
because it's a book. I mean, it was
Popular
required
book.
reading, I
Yeah.
think, for the longest time, and I could be wrong.
I read it. In
But
the
but how did it do? So I bet you for a $30 million budget, I bet you it made $45 million, which still might be a loss.
They opened to 20.
What did it make overall?
I don't know. I'm looking, Kristian.
So
quick.
I bet you
Be
I bet you
faster.
overall it made 45 to 50 million, and with that budget, you barely break even. It cost how much to make? What did you say? 20 something?
Yeah. No, 30.
Okay. It cost $30 million to make. It cost $30 million to make, and it made $21 million. So it lost money. But I understand taking the shot at that movie, putting it in the theater, because again, it's counter-programming. It's based off a popular book. My wife took my daughter to see it. I get the shot, but it does prove my point that it also didn't make a lot of money.
But you would have thought that would have been an in-theater movie.
I think that it was worth taking a shot at it because of budget being lower.
This is what's confusing to me
Yeah.
and the things that I don't understand. Number one.
Math.
I actually placed out of math when I was 14 years old. That's the truth.
Yeah.
But why? How it all works now, honestly. So, okay, this movie goes to theaters.
Yeah.
It costs $30 million. It makes $21 million. That's a fail in the theaters. But where I watched it was on the airplane. So what is their plane deal? Then it goes to streaming. What's their streaming deal?
Right.
Like, isn't that a movie that actually does make its money back
Not
and then
necessarily.
make
Remember-
money because of the fact that it did get that $20 million boost? And if it had just gone to streaming, how really does it make its money?
Well, that's the bigger question with streaming, the last part of that. But the other is you lose money you lose money to the theaters in general because you got to pay theater costs and other things too. So how much more you're going to make off of airplane deals and I don't know, Blu-ray physical media is not even that big of a thing like it used to be.
Right.
So yeah, you're not really going to make too much of a profit, all that stuff. But the honest answer for you with the streaming thing is I don't really know. And I think it's one of the major reasons that the unions were fighting what they're fighting for, to get the transparency of the numbers, because it's like, how do you guys know when you're making your money? How do you know when, if you're going to tell me this didn't do well, well, show me the numbers, how we know that it didn't do well, and what are the conversion rates like? Like, so if you put a movie like that out there, and then because a bunch of kids who didn't know it was even out in the theater, couldn't find it close to them, wanted to watch it, and they do, and it brings in a whole bunch of new subscribers, that's conversion rate, but they see that, we don't.
I think that the bigger problem to me, it's not does this go streaming, does this go theatrical? It's that the budget of movies is just too high to sustain this model.
I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't agree with you more. It's that that is how
the Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, right. And
oh my God.
Yeah, right. And that's what I'm saying to you is that like there are times when you put a movie out in the theater that has a lower budget that I go, well, it could have been a streaming movie, but with the budget, it was so low, go for it. Insidious, Red Door, right? That movie cost like $10 to make, and it made a shit ton of money for what the budget was. So Five Nights at Freddy, they did the same day. Like normally, if that movie would have cost like a lot of money, I would have said, who cares about putting that movie? But they also put it out at Halloween.
So your theatrical opinion in terms of like what could make money is if it's attached to a major IP or franchise, if it's a big spectacle, or if it's dirt cheap to make, and especially
comes out
the
at the
horror
right
genre.
Time. Yeah, and it's like, and timing of it all,
I don't
right?
disagree with you, Kristian. I don't disagree with you. I don't like that.
No, I don't either.
But I don't disagree with you, and we are seeing that. It's just crazy to me when we keep hearing about these movies that have $200 million plus budgets, and it's just like,
that's that's why the theater business has changed. Why it was, because when there are certain movies that, like, look at like Dune, right? Dune's a movie that should absolutely be seen on the big screen, right?
Yeah.
The Creator is a movie that's a lower budget movie, but it should be seen on the big screen. There are movies like the Taylor Swift movie, the concert movie, Beyonce. Those movies should be seen on the big screen because it's like you're feeling the concert, you're feeling the sound of it all. And there's a reason why they made the kind of money that they do. You can watch those movies on that TV, and it'll be.
Did Dune annihilate?
Annihilate? No, it didn't annihilate because it also came in. It came out at a time. It was during the pandemic, and I think they tried to do the same day release. I can't remember if they did that or not, but it definitely was. You could watch it when it came out. And
at home?
Yeah, when it came out the first time.
That.
And
I saw
now,
it in theaters.
and there was like this whole big thing about it. So it did good, but it didn't do great. I think the second one will do great. I think the second will do, but that's a movie that should be on the big screen. There's no doubt about it. So there are movies that I think that should take the shot. But there are certain times when like a movie like the Jennifer Lawrence movie, like you look at that movie like that, like that movie is like.
Can we get any comedies or rom-coms on the big screen anymore?
That unfortunately, people do not want to see them in the theater anymore.
How did Joyride do?
Not well at all. Bombed.
Really? Oh.
Bombed bad. And people love that movie.
Yeah, it was
saw
good.
I didn't see it. People
loved
loved
that
it.
movie.
Bombed bad.
I don't think you would love it. I think
Really?
you'd like it.
Okay, I heard.
Yeah.
People tell me it was really funny.
It was
but
very,
I
very
didn't see
funny.
it.
But it's like it is. I don't know how you feel about this. Maybe Brett, you would like it. It's super sexual.
That's what I heard.
Like,
Yeah,
it's like over the top, like in the blue, just the most.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well,
sometimes it's like, okay, we get it, but I thought it was very funny.
But I understand why they would potentially take a shot with a movie like that. Again, budget couldn't have been that much. And then you look at something like Everything Everywhere All at Once. It cost like $5 million to make, whatever, right? And it made.
I think it cost like 20, didn't it?
Something like that, maybe. But it very well could have. But let's see if everything.
But that's another one you have to see on the big screen for sure.
I know, but I understand also why it's a gamble at one point. Hold on, let me see. So the budget of Everything Everywhere All at Once was $25 million, made 143 worldwide. Now, obviously, winning the Oscar and all that added more money to it, but I understand taking the shot at that movie for $20 million. You put it out in the theater, see how it does, and it paid off and then some. Movie makes $20 million. If a movie costs $20 million and you think you can get some theatrical response, was it A24 that was that one, and A24 is going to push it? yeah, it makes sense to give it a theatrical run.
That's kind of a lightning striking kind of a situation, though,
Sure.
too, because of, I think so many people, you have to see this in the theater. That was word of mouth got that thing,
Sure.
pushed or whatever, because it was a great film, you know?
Right.
So it's
right.
like,
It's quality, too. That's another great
Quality,
point, though. It's
you know.
quality, but that's why you look something like Air, which is frustrating because Air, again, is so good. And like Oppenheimer, clearly made for the theater,
Mm-hmm.
right? Something like that. Barbie, Oppenheimer, like there are not a lot of great box office successes this year. And
Weird year. People were on strike. They couldn't promote their
Yeah.
movies anyway. So I do think that has a little bit to do with it.
Sure, but I mean, you look at something like there's two movies that come to mind. Going to your point earlier, and the first one and they both have the same problem, and that's Fast X and the Marvels, right? Fast X cost $360 million. It made over 750, almost 800 million, but it lost money or barely broke even. It lost money because you made it for $375 million. It's out of control.
God.
Last movie.
It's out of control.
movie's
How
wild.
much? And I like that movie. I thought it was entertaining, but it should not cost that much money to make. And then the Marvels, $250 million or whatever it might be, and this is the same thing. That movie is ultimately going to probably lose $200 million. So even if Brie Larson, the three actresses, if they all promoted it, you think it would have covered an additional $100 million? No way.
But 10 million.
Okay, fine, 10. So then they lose 190.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I think it is for other movies maybe more
Sure.
relevant, especially
Blue
some
Beetle.
smaller-
Blue Beetle could have helped.
Definitely
Blue Beetle could have helped.
could have
Now
helped.
again, how much more it could have helped? I don't know, but it could have helped.
Bring the conversation back to Oscars then, Christian, for a second. So, of the movies that you think should go directly to streaming,
Mm-hmm.
then you think that those should or should not be Oscar contenders based on the fact that you think the Oscars should be for the masses.
Well, again, but that's the tricky thing. Streaming now is for the masses,
Right,
more
but-
so. And I'm not one of these people that thinks, like, I know there's a lot of the snooty film critics that think if it doesn't have a theatrical run, it can't be nominated. If a movie's a movie, it's a movie, and movies are what are being celebrated.
Yeah.
It's a movie, and especially we got to be able to change the rules a little bit too. If like people aren't going to the theater, but they know what the movie is, and they make a big movie for Apple, and it can't get the theatrical run, and people are watching it, and it's popular on Apple, it should be nominated.
If I make a movie
Yeah.
and I put it on YouTube,
And I mean, look, and it's a.
do you think it should be able to be nominated?
If people watch your movie, yes, I do.
Okay.
If people watch your movie,
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah,
I'm just
and
curious.
let's say your movie goes viral, and everybody loves your movie because you made it yourself. It's that it shouldn't be what club are you in order to get in. It should be like people love my movie. People are watching my movie. People know about my movie. They're aware of it. The idea of the Oscars and the Academy Awards was obviously to celebrate the year of film, but it's also to put on television so the masses could see the movies that they saw and the actors and the performances that they liked. That's lost now. It's only for the film community. It is only for the film community and the people who really love movies that will go
So
and watch
tell me
everything.
what you think would be the best movies to nominate this year. Obviously, not the whole. I don't need your whole list.
Yeah.
But like, if you were in the nominating committee, if you are the Oscars and you are like, okay, here are the movies that I think are going to help people watch our show.
Yeah, well, it's a loaded question, right? Because it's a matter of like you want to get movies out there that are out there for the masses for sure, but you also do want quality movies. Like I'm not for visual effects, sure, I'd put Transformers out there, but you're not going to nominate that for Best Picture, obviously. I'm putting Air in there. I'm putting Godzilla somewhere in there. I'll tell you that right now. I couldn't believe, and
I've heard so much about Godzilla.
Godzilla.
But you think that's going to help viewership?
Yes,
Okay.
Godzilla is one of the best movies in the last 5 years.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
I've
So
heard.
Godzilla, Air. You put in Barbie.
I would understand if people wanted to put Barbie in there. I wouldn't vote for it, but I'd understand if people were like, we should put that in. Yes, 100%. It would be stupid not to. It's the most popular movie of the year, and people love it, and people love the performances. Yes, Barbie should be in there.
Okay. What? So are you not putting any like?
No, because like,
May,
even-
December holdovers, any of the conversation about the smaller movies?
No, because May, December, even though I don't like it and I still think it's kind of artsy fartsy, it's a Netflix movie that had mass distribution that people know about.
So
And
you are putting it in.
I would put it in there if people actually voted for it. And if people that are, it was trending on Twitter and people loved it and people were actually talking about it outside the film community, that people are actually seeing it, then yeah. It's
So what aren't you putting in there?
it's so tough for me to it's hard for me to say because like it's because I get into the selfish mode of it. Like American Fiction to me is one of my favorite movies of the year. The Holdovers, one of my favorite movies of the year. Nobody has seen those movies. Most people, average
Do what you did for the
Joes.
movie thing, though, Kristian.
Yeah.
You said to me, it's not what I want to see in theaters. It's
I
what
know
people.
it's hard.
So do that for the Oscars.
Do I think that if you nominated American Fiction, which is to me one of the best movies of the year, are people going to tune in to see if it wins? No, they're not.
So you're not. If
If you're doing like the big, I mean, Poor Things. No, I wouldn't put Poor Things in there. I'll tell you that. Like, no, most people who are going to watch Poor Things, it's a fucking weird movie.
Do you think it should be about how many people are seeing it, kind of?
I think it should be, there should be more mass distribution for some of these movies. And it also, some of it plays, I don't know, some of the artsy fartsy stuff. Like, I think there's it's a movie that should be nominated that gets a lot of, I haven't seen it yet, but that's getting a lot of play because people know what it is and it's a Netflix movie, Nyad, right?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's the one with Jodie Foster and Annette Bening.
No.
The swimmers. Yeah. So
have you heard of this?
No. Okay. So maybe not. I don't know. I mean, I don't really have all the answers, to be completely honest with you. I don't know. All I know is even in a movie like that, though.
Of course, it's not your job to. I'm
No,
just
I know.
asking
No, yeah,
what
sure.
you really think, especially because you and I are on the only thing you and I seem to be on the opposite line about is that I love the Oscars and you don't anymore.
I'm just
so
tired
I want
of
to know
them.
what you think they should be doing.
I'm just tired of them because it's like they still treat it like this elite club that they want people to watch their elite club meeting. They don't treat people who are watching the show like they got to be part of it or even really acknowledging that they should be watching it. They're just saying, oh, we're letting you watch this elite club here. You might not have heard about these things. Who gives a shit? And we're going to let so-and-so talk about some political thing that they could say on their fucking Twitter, but instead they're talking to somebody else who might have they want to watch their show, who could have a completely opposing point of it. And we're celebrating movies here. I get it. You want to take the platform. You want to spread the word. I understand it. But it's also why I tell people, if you follow someone on Twitter and you go, hey, I don't want to hear you talk about politics, then don't follow them. It's their platform. It's their thing. That's where they're not telling you that they're going to talk about movies or sports or whatever it is on that platform. You're following Roxy Striar. You're following Brett Sheridan. You're following me because you're following our points of view. So you're going to get offended. Fuck off. Then the same should be said if I'm promoting a movie show and I'm promoting a celebration in movies. It should be about the movies. You want to introduce yourself to, okay, thank you to my dad who gave me this inspiring, you want to have an inspiring speech, my mom who did this, who said, and relating in its apologies, saying, who told me that I think Viola Davis gave a great speech saying that, as a black woman, she wouldn't be able to do this and look, and Regina King did the same type of thing. Of course you should do stuff like that.
But you think that the Oscars should tell the people, here's what you can and cannot speak about?
It's tricky, right?
Like, I understand you wishing that's what the actors just did.
I know, but it's like, but you're still. I think in a certain aspect, the director should. In a certain aspect,
the director of the Oscars.
Of the Oscars, the director should, and it should say, look, we want to keep this thing. Because that's also a problem with the live show. I mean, you look at certain things.
Listen, a lot of these people eat meat, folks. Let's just tone down the vegan shit.
You want to get steak, Roxy?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I really don't know where it is.
Listen, nobody wants to hear Barbie talking about her veganism. I don't know if she's vegan.
She might be, but I'll tell you, I used to look forward. I used to look forward to the Oscars. Is the answer to this question?
Me.
Yeah, I did too.
I used to go to the things. I used to be part of the polls. I find out who won. I tape it, or I'll watch it on stream or whatever, and I fast forward through just to watch the winners. I very rarely watch the speeches. Go right through.
Like the slap, or things like, sorry, it's actually Moonlight, not La La Land. Like, do you like the live element that calls for those things? Does that make you
embarrassed for people? I feel embarrassed for the production team on that. It's like that's not something you want to, and it's sad that the most viewed moments are when a dude loses control and slaps another guy in the face, and that's what everyone's talking about when your show should be. I mean, there used to be, like, I feel in the same way that I feel like Hall H. Like when you go to Comic-Con, Hall H should be a show. On every panel, you're going to put the money, it should be a show, not the same shit. Here's a moderator that just got the gig a week ago. Is going to go, so tell me about the job when you got this, blah, blah, blah. And then yay, we mentioned someone we know. And then by the end, they show a trailer. That's when everybody loses their shit. And that's it. the best panel I ever saw was a Transformers panel. They had Stan Bush come out and play one of the old school Transformers songs live. Then they did this other big screen thing. And, if you want to make it an event, make it an event. The same should be said about the Oscars. Make it a show. Have they used to do the big musical act, and I guess they still do musical acts for the thing, but make it an overall show. Write a script for it. Have whoever the host is bring us in and out and write a show, right in the same way that you would,
I feel they do that.
Not well. Not well. And because it always the jokes will come out, the monologue starts off at the beginning, and then it just trails off into and now that you've hosted, right? It's you do the thing up top, and then the in between now is okay, here's a joke that's probably not funny. I don't give a shit. I'm getting paid $1 million. You
just get Ricky Gervais to do everything.
For real.
I mean,
he did the Golden Globe, so I don't know. It's.
Do you guys think that there's anybody they could select as the Oscars host that would get you actually interested?
I mean, again, I'm the wrong person to ask.
what's his face? Oh Jesus, just
Matt Rife.
No, Boston comedian.
Bill Burr.
Oh, Bill Burr.
Bill Burr.
Yeah, yes.
That would get me to watch the Oscars.
100%.
Same vein as Gervais, but just
they would never in a million years ask him to do it. Never.
Why?
For a lot of different reasons. One, because Golden Globes maybe. Mm-hmm. The Oscars, no chance. You're not going to get a guy like Bill Burr to do it because you
I think
can't.
It'd be great.
I couldn't agree with you more. But you couldn't control him. And let's face it, the Oscars are very far left running, and he's not. Everyone always assumes he's far
definitely
right.
left leaning. He always talks on stage. He says it.
Right,
and
but people
in his
assume
politics he is.
Yeah, but people assume. He's kind of, but he goes after everybody.
Yeah,
he goes after everybody, and if you watch was it Bad Dads? Is the name of it?
I don't know, but I watched it. and We liked it. Yeah,
and he cracks jokes on everybody, and they won't like that.
No,
there's no way. But even then, though, but it's still the same. I think it needs to change. I think they need to turn it into an actual show.
Old dads.
But they need to turn it into a show. I think that's the overall thing. But
crossover Bad Santa and Old Dads.
I don't know. What do you guys think? I guess I'm gonna have to change the entire title for the show because
I wouldn't stop hounding you.
It's I actually way more of a better conversation than I think that we would have had about anything else. But all right, before I'm gonna do this thing about James Gunn before we take off. I want to ask you guys what you think about this conversation we just had. And I also want to tell you about NUTSDOTCOM and NUTRAFOL. I'll tell you about them right now. This is the best. Nuts. Get off my nuts. Don't touch my nuts. I love these nuts. I love them. Listen, you ever been to a candy store? You ever been to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory? Probably not the last one, but you can get something close. Check this out, nuts.com. Maybe you can't get to the chocolate factory, but I'll get you close enough. The online version of that is nuts.com. Besides just having a lot of great nuts, they have classic candies. They got butterscotch, they got fudge, and licorice. Cashews, almonds, pecans, pistachios, dried mango, crystallized ginger, dates, jelly beans, jawbreakers, root beer barrels. It goes on and on and on at nuts.com. I was so excited to have them come along. I mean, look at that. That's what I got. That's what I've been eating. That's what I've been chewing on. Yeah, and even that little fat pug that I love so much, he loves it too. Although he can't really eat nuts, but he loves smelling them. Nuts.com is your one-stop shop for freshly roasted nuts, dried fruits, sweets, pantry staples like specialty flours, and much more. They have a wide selection. It means that there's something for everyone. At Nuts.com, quality, top priority. They roast their nuts and they pop their corn the same day that it ships. They reach you deliciously fresh. Satisfaction is guaranteed, and I can be a testament. Right now, I'm snacking on these because I love these almonds. They're really good. And I know, not ideal when you're telling people about stuff to have food in your face, but I can't stand it to keep them away from me. They're right in front of my face. I have to eat Nuts.com. So, again, stay away from my nuts. Get your own nuts. Nuts.com. So listen to this deal. Right now, Nuts.com is offering new customers a free gift with purchase and free shipping on orders for $29 or more at Nuts.com/bigthing. So if you check out all the delicious options at Nuts.com/bigthing, you're going to get a free gift and free shipping if you spend $29 or more. Nuts.com/bigthing. Yes, there are a lot more nuts jokes I could have made. Don't be embarrassed. Don't do it. Listen, did you know that 80% of men will experience hair thinning in their lifetime? It's normal, guys. But it doesn't have to be your fate. You can get ahead of thinning with NUTRAFOL. NUTRAFOL is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement clinically shown to improve your hair growth, visible thickness, and visible scalp coverage. NUTRAFOL's hair growth supplements use physician-formulated, natural, science-backed ingredients. Their drug-free, patented technology provides consistent, reliable results without compromising your sexual health. Go to NUTRAFOL.com/men to take their hair wealth wellness quiz. Identify causes of your thinning hair, and NUTRAFOL will give you a personalized plan for better hair health through whole body wellness. It works. In a clinical study, 84% of men showed improvement in their hair after 6 months taking NUTRAFOL men's hair growth supplements. Everybody feels this way as you're getting older. You're like, oh man, am I the only one? Why is this happening to me? This and that. We're in an age now where you can get it helped. You can get it fixed. Take the first step to visibly thicker, healthier hair. For a limited time, NUTRAFOL is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to NUTRAFOL.com/men, but you have to enter that promo code BIGTHING. Find out why over 4,000 healthcare professionals recommend NUTRAFOL for healthier hair. NUTRAFOL.com/men. NUTRAFOL.com/men and enter that code BIGTHING. That's NUTRAFOL.com/men, promo code BIGTHING. Thank you to our friends over at NUTS.com and NUTRAFOL. So let's get into this final story here about James Gunn. He was out there, man, and he was talking a lot about Superman, a lot about casting, tons of stuff. Let me tell you about some of this stuff. Here's the first thing. Superman Legacy director James Gunn details his issue with cameo porn in superhero movies. Josh Wilding at Comic Book Movie writes, Superman Legacy director James Gunn has revealed why he takes issue with cameo porn in the superhero movies and names the character he's currently most excited for fans to see in the upcoming DCU reboot. As the cast of Superman Legacy continues to expand, there's been a lot of chatter online about the movie being too crowded. The reboot is going to introduce the DCU's new Man of Tomorrow, but the hero will find himself surrounded by characters like Green Lantern, Metamorpho, and potentially even Supergirl. Doesn't sound too different from a lot of superhero movies, but some feel that filmmaker James Gunn should focus solely on Superman. However, the reboot is also our introduction to DC Studios' DCU, and if anyone knows how to handle large ensembles, it's the writer and director between The Suicide Squad, Guardians of the Galaxy. Gunn recently answered some questions on Threads, clarifying his stance on the size of Superman Legacy's cast. He said the whole point was it's not a large film. I mean, not in terms of cast. It's normal for a single protagonist film to have other characters, much more unusual for them not to. The filmmaker went on to reveal why he takes issue with some superhero movies leaning too heavily on what he described as cameo porn. I call that cameo porn, and it has been one of the worst elements of recent superhero films. He said what a fan described as the genre's tendency to have a character appear on screen for 10 seconds to mark a checkbox, Gunn said. If a character's in the film, they have a reason to be there story-wise. I don't mind actual cameos if it's a glimpse or a moment, an Easter egg, he said. What bothers me is when they mangle an elegant story by shoehorning characters in. They aren't there because the story calls for it, but some other reason. It's fine if it doesn't disrupt the story. It's the plot contrivances that develop from a cameo, not the cameo itself. Gunn isn't wrong, and Marvel Studios' recent movies have suffered badly from cameo porn. That's evident from the blink, and you'd miss some cameos like Hercules, Eros, and even all those Kang variants. On the DC side, it was a problem for The Flash as well. Elsewhere in this brief, Gunn said that Mr. Terrific is the character he's excited for fans to see in Superman Legacy and revealed that The Watchmen is his favorite DC comic book. All right, so staying on here with James Gunn, staying on Superman, because we have all this stuff we're going to talk about with him. While everyone can agree that Nicholas Hoult is a great pick to play Lex Luthor, the decision to put the spotlight on that villain yet again in Superman Legacy has raised some eyebrows. If it's true that Brainiac is set to appear, it may not matter, but after Lex has taken center stage in everything from Superman the movie to Superman Returns, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, it feels like the reboot is retreading familiar ground. Ultimately, it comes down to whether James Gunn is able to do something new. Given the filmmaker's longtime friendship with Smallville's Michael Rosenbaum, many have wondered whether he could be given the chance to play the DCU's Lex. When that was put to Gunn on Threads, he said, I love Michael. He was my favorite Lex, and he's one of my very close friends, but I wanted a Lex who was contemporaries with Superman. We're not remotely shocked that Rosenbaum wasn't cast, even if it would have been cool, but Gunn's comments about Lex's contemporary suggest that Superman Legacy will feature a relationship akin to the one seen in the Superman Birthright comic books. It's an intriguing dynamic and one that could allow Gunn, Holt, and David Corenswet to find a new approach to Luthor's hatred for the Man of Tomorrow. Superman Legacy tells the story of Superman's journey to reconcile his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing as Clark Kent of Smallville, Kansas. So, all right. So when you have all that from what he's talking about, he also, he talked about his brother, and he also got some shit for casting his brother again. And Roka and I talked about this on Monday. I do think that he should just say, look, I cast my brother. That's it. Why? Because I cast my brother.
Yeah.
He's a good actor. I like having him in my stuff, and I put him in there. He had some other long thing about why he was putting him in there. It's like, come on, it's your brother. Right? That's why. He is right where a lot of these cameos are just thrown in there and they just kind of mean nothing. And it is funny, though. The Flash was the first one I thought of, and he loved the Flash. So it's weird that he would say that about, or not acknowledge, that particular movie, because that movie was just full of them at the end. That's usually the beginning of that movie and the end of that movie, to me, is the worst parts of that movie. But I like that movie more than most.
I think that I'm excited for his vision.
Yeah.
A lot of his answers get me excited. Sometimes I do find that he's willing to answer too many questions. Sometimes he is such a man of the fans that he wants to talk a lot. And I'm kind of with you for the brother thing. For me, if it was somebody asked me why I put my brother in my movie, I'd be like, because that's my brother. Would you not put your brother in your movie? That's weird of you.
Right. Right. I'd rather have him say
that's a you
that.
problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that a lot of this is good. The cameo porn thing, I usually like those pop-ins. They don't tend to bother me. Sometimes there are ones like what you're speaking about where I'm like, but it doesn't ruin a whole movie for me. I also think it is weird that people are nervous that he's overloading his Superman movie, because this is a whole universe. It's a universe of decades.
Right.
And of course there's going to be other characters that you recognize and know. That doesn't mean that he's overloading it with cameos. So that was kind of strange to me too. For the most part, I think that nothing about this was like alarming.
No, not at all. And Brett, when it comes to the Superman thing, one of the things that people talk about is that, as he mentioned, that there's so many people that are announced to be in the cast that you should focus in on Superman. It seems like he's very aware of that. And he also is like, it's a small movie, and that gets me encouraged. He's like, but as far as the character stuff goes and the story itself, where he seems to realize that people want to see more of Superman. So what do you think?
I just want to know what you were looking at.
I saw a fly go by. Yeah.
Oh my God, this one is obsessed with me.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, of course they want to see more Superman.
Yeah.
That's that's the film. That's I don't think that's a weird statement.
Just not to focus in on, like, you can understand where people are like, well, Green Lantern's in it and this is in it. It's like, yeah, but is this going to be about,
Because they're in that world.
right?
And it's a new Superman. You're establishing your
I think
new.
that's the whole thing, is that people want to make sure that you establish this new Superman. 'Cause people don't know who this guy is yet, and we want to find out more about him. Rachel Brosnahan, who I love, I'm so glad she's cast in the role, and you get a little bit more Nicholas Holt in there to see what he's going to do as Lex Luthor. So to recreate this dynamic in a fresh way, to me, like, so Superman's my favorite superhero. I don't know if you knew that or not, but like Superman is, because growing up with Christopher Reeve and all that stuff, it's like that's, and I think James Gunn is going to bring something to that. What I do, my biggest fear with the James Gunn Superman is, as like people are exhausted of me saying this about pretty much everything now, is the abusive comedy I'm worried about. I don't want to see, there's certain things, like I love the Suicide Squad. I love Peacemaker. Those shows call for James Gunn's style of humor. Superman does not.
I would love to see a very funny Lois. I would love to see a sharp, witty Lois.
That's
and
different.
I think that he'll be able to put it in there. There's just no world in which we have a hysterical Clark Kent. There's no way that James Gunn would do that, Christian, because it's not part of his character at all.
I don't want to see Lex Luthor cracking a whole bunch of, like, look, Gene Hackman was cracking jokes, but I don't want to see it. Like, as I say about Guardians 2, which I've come around on more than I used to be, but I still watch and I still stand by the fact that everybody's handing out jokes, albeit some of them funny jokes, but everybody's handing out jokes, and it's like, I get that he likes to be funny in the same way that Taika likes to be funny. Taika got carried away in Love and Thunder, And I think James Gunn got carried.
Do we know what Lantern's in this movie?
The green
Is it
one.
Hal? Or is it Guy?
I think it is. I think it's Guy.
It's Guy.
Yeah.
Gene Hackman was funny, but also frightening as hell.
He was. I know, but there is a tone in the Donner one that could be a little silly though sometimes too.
Yeah.
I also wanted to talk a little bit about the Michael Rosenbaum aspect of
please,
this
please.
because I think that was a very good sign. I love Michael Rosenbaum. I love him as Lex. I love him as a podcaster. I love him. I just think he is like the bee's knees. I think he's awesome and has done a great job for the nerd community. He's just like everything. But it would have been really weird for James Gunn to cast him. Not because they're friends, but because James Gunn is scrapping. He's like,
trying to do something new.
I'm doing something different.
Yeah.
If then he put Michael Rosenbaum in because it was his friend,
Right.
that would be bizarre. And unlike what I said about his brother, like, of course he's throwing his brother in there. There's too much of a history with Michael Rosenbaum as this character for us to just brush it under the rug.
Well, then it's like, why didn't you put Henry Cavill in there?
Right.
You know,
Because then you have no leg to stand on
right.
with that. Which
Now,
makes no
granted,
sense.
it's not connected to the same universe, the Rosenbaum stuff, but we actually, I can say it now because we're coming back for Katie Sackhoff's show in January, and Michael Rosenbaum's one of our guests.
Was he awesome?
Yeah, and she asked him about being cast and if him and James Gunn talked about it and everything. They talk about it. And
I'm sure he was cool as hell about it because I'm
Easily,
sure
yeah.
he was
They're buddies.
probably not thinking he was going to be in this movie because that wouldn't make sense. And would I love to see Michael Rosenbaum as a different role in James Gunn's DCEU? Yes, I would. I think that would be awesome because why not?
He's so open and honest with Katie in that interview. It's like he always is on his show, but like saw a very different side of him.
What else did they talk about?
I don't know if I want to spoil it yet.
Was it mostly movie stuff or was it also okay, cool.
Life stuff. Mostly a lot of life stuff. Like he did talk about leaving Smallville and everything too, but I don't want to spoil like the interview because it's really great.
Did you guys watch Smallville?
Yeah, I watched a lot of it. I mean, I bailed eventually, but no.
No.
Anyway, look, we
Hated
talked about a lot, guys. So make sure you leave your thoughts. Make sure you find Roxy at everywhere at Roxy Striar. Brett Sheridan is on the channel that he calls
Above Board TV.
Yep, and you can find that on YouTube's. So again, hit the subscribe button. It's floating around up there. Hopefully this time, Apple Podcast, Spotify. If you're able to support us, you can do it a bunch of different ways. You want to get one of our sponsors, that helps. You want to help us on that Amazon list, you can do that. Or you can join Patreon. You want to watch the comedy show, you can do that right now. Patreon.com/thebigthingshow. For Roxy Striar and Brett Sheridan, see you next time. Bye.